Livability.com recently came out with a list of the top 25 places to live in the Midwest, and Overland Park came in at number 2 on that list. So what could possibly be wrong with living in OP? Now, it's difficult to knock on Overland Park with these rankings. However, there's no such thing as the perfect place to live, and it does have some drawbacks. So in this video, I'll be discussing why some of you that I've spoken to who started out with Overland Park at the top of your list ultimately decided to move elsewhere. And stick around until the very end, where I'm going to read you some real life reviews of Overland Park residents, and some of them aren't so nice. First up, let's dive into the financial aspect of living in Overland Park. It's important to understand that the cost of living here is notably higher compared to other areas in the metro. And I think this comes as a bit of a shock to some people when they begin deep diving into moving here. Look, a big draw to moving to Kansas City is the affordability, and sometimes it doesn't end up being as affordable as what some people that I talk to are expecting. So let's break down the numbers for OP. According to bestplaces.net, Overland Park scores a 106.2 on the cost of living index, where the national average is 100. So it's slightly above the national average in terms of expenses. But when we dive in a little deeper, you'll find that the primary driver for the higher cost of living is housing costs, which score 126 out of 100. As of this video's recording, the median home price in Overland Park stands at right around $450,000. This figure might catch you off guard, especially when you stack it up against the median home price of the Kansas City metro, which hovers around $300,000. Now, why is Overland Park more expensive? Well, there are a few reasons. Firstly, its location in Johnson County, Kansas is highly sought after, and with a population of around 200,000 people, it's not just a random suburb. Overland Park has some of the top-rated public school districts, not only in the metro, but in the entire state, racking up 3 of the top 6 school districts in the state of Kansas. This, combined with the consistent ranking as one of the best places to live in the country, lands it at the top of many people's lists when they're considering purchasing a home, and consequently has led to higher real estate prices. Now, when you compare it to areas many of our clients are relocating from, like California or Florida, Overland Park's housing market is still relatively affordable. And if you're looking for a starter home, there are options in the $200,000 to $300,000 range, yet those are the most in-demand price points and often end up in multiple offer situations. So moving beyond housing, the overall cost of living in Overland Park is pretty much in line with the national average when it comes to everyday expenses like groceries, utilities, and transportation. However, it is important to note that housing costs often account for about 30% of a household's monthly budget. The reality is, in some places, your money might stretch further than it does here, which is why some people avoid Overland Park. Next on the list, let's chat about the weather in OP, because let me tell you, it's a bit of a roller coaster. The summers here, they're not just warm, they're hot, humid, and sometimes pretty relentless. And depending on where you settle down, finding shade can be a bit of a mission. For example, in northern Overland Park, that's the older part of town, so it has these established neighborhoods with big, mature trees offering some protection from the sun. But head south to southern OP, where there's a lot of new construction, and it's a completely different story. These newer communities have newly planted trees, so shade is a bit of a luxury. Now, winter, on the other hand, doesn't really matter where you're located in Overland Park. The cold is something everyone experiences. From January through March, it gets really, really cold, and the humidity makes it feel even more intense. You'll need to bundle up, but sometimes it feels like the cold just cuts through all of those layers. It's the kind of cold that makes you question your life choices, but we all get through it with a bit of humor and resilience. I'm sure you've seen the viral videos of someone walking in the frigid cold while repeating to themselves, "We don't have earthquakes, we don't have hurricanes, we don't have alligators." Yeah, that's our mantra to get through the winter months. Spring and fall, on the other hand, are the rewards of surviving the extremes. These seasons are truly beautiful in Overland Park. However, if you're coming from a place with a more stable climate like California, the sudden temperature shifts in spring and fall might catch you off guard. It's not uncommon to experience a warm, sunny day followed by a sudden drop in temperature. The weather as a whole will keep you on your toes, and it's another reason why some people decide against moving to Overland Park. Now, if we haven't met yet, my name's Kyle. I'm a local realtor, and if you're considering to move to Overland Park or the Kansas City Metro in general, my team and I would love to assist you. Go ahead and shoot me a call, text, email, day or night. All my contact information is displayed on the screen below. And the only other thing that I ask is you give a thumbs up to this video to make sure that it gets pushed out to more people who are also considering moving to the area. Another key thing to keep in mind about Overland Park is the public transportation situation, or more accurately, the lack thereof. OP is big, stretching over 76 square miles, and it's pretty spread out. This layout means while there are pockets of walkability like in Prairie Fire or downtown OP, they're more an exception than the rule. The bottom line, you're gonna need a car, and not just for the occasional trip. You'll likely find yourself spending a significant amount of time driving. Now, despite the need for a car, one of the perks of living in Overland Park is the accessibility to amenities. Whether it's grocery stores, parks, or restaurants, you're generally not too far from what you need. This is true across most of OP, and if you're in northern Overland Park, you've got a bit of a bonus with downtown Kansas City being just a 10 to 15 minute drive away for most residents. Now, if you're in southern Overland Park, it's a different story. Due to Overland Park's extensive north to south span across Johnson County, commute times from the south can be about double compared to those from the north. However, your daily commute might not be a big deal depending on your situation if you're not regularly heading into downtown Kansas City, or if you're working from home like many of you that I talk to, the longer travel times might not affect you that much. That being said, it's still a smart move to consider commute times when deciding where you'll settle down in Overland Park, and a little bit of planning can make a big difference in your daily routine and overall satisfaction with where you live. So another reason that some people avoid Overland Park is lifestyle and leisure activities. So it's important to have a realistic view of what's on offer. Sure, Overland Park isn't just about the daily grind. There's room for fun and relaxation too, but it's worth noting that the options here might lean more towards the typical suburban experience. For instance, Prairie Fire is a popular spot. It's a mixed-use area where you can shop, dine, and play games like pickleball at Chicken and Pickle. And if you're a golf fan, Overland Park won't disappoint with its 11 golf courses. These range from laid-back public courses to more exclusive country clubs. Shopping is another highlight with places like Oak Park Mall and the boutique stores in downtown Overland Park. Downtown OP is also known for its highly rated farmers market, a great place to mingle and pick up fresh produce. And then you have the Overland Park Arboretum, which is a haven for nature lovers, offering 300 acres of gardens, plants, and trails. It's a peaceful retreat from the suburban hustle and bustle, especially with events like the annual Luminary Walk during the holiday season. However, when it comes to dining, Overland Park's scene might not meet everyone's expectations. The area is heavy on chain restaurants, which might disappoint those seeking unique or diverse culinary experiences. If you're a foodie like I am, looking for variety, you'll likely find yourself traveling outside of Overland Park to satisfy your palate. So even though OP has its fair share of things to do and places to shop, it's pretty much your quintessential suburb. It's comfortable and familiar, but maybe not the most diverse in terms of dining and recreation. Now let's chat about something I know a lot of you are curious about when considering a move to Overland Park: the real estate scene. What's available? What can you expect? Well, the majority of OP is dominated by single-family detached homes. This is great news if you're looking for a spacious place, especially if you have a family or are planning to start one. There's a good selection of sizable homes here that can accommodate that family lifestyle comfortably. But here's the thing, if you're on the hunt for something a bit different like a loft or a condo with that urban character, you might find your options pretty limited. Overland Park isn't really known for its loft or condo scene. It's more about traditional suburban living, so for those of you who love the idea of a unique, character-filled living space, you might need to adjust your expectations a little bit or look elsewhere. It's all about knowing what you're getting into with Overland Park real estate. It's fantastic for single-family homes, offering a range of styles and sizes from older-style ranch homes to brand new construction, but for more unconventional living spaces, Not so much. So keep this in mind as you weigh your options and think about what kind of home will best suit your lifestyle and preferences. Another thing to consider that comes up quite a bit is the family-oriented vibe of OP. It's an aspect that might not align with everyone's preferences. The median age in Overland Park is around 38 and a half years old, and what you'll notice is that a lot of residents are in that stage of life where they're raising kids. Now, this isn't too surprising when you think about the factors that draw people here, the schools, the recreational facilities, and the overall family-friendly environment. Take the Shields Soccer Complex, for instance. It's a hub of activity right in the heart of Overland Park, always buzzing with a youth soccer tournament. And it's not just outdoor sports. They're currently developing another indoor sports complex in the southern part of OP within the Blue Hawk development. These facilities are a big draw for families looking to provide their kids with active, engaging lifestyles. But here's the thing, this family-centric atmosphere might not be everyone's cup of tea. If you're at a different stage of life, maybe not into the whole family scene, or you're looking for a more diverse demographic mix, Overland Park might not hit the mark for you. And that's totally okay. It's all about finding a place that fits with where you're at in life. For some, that might mean exploring other areas that align more closely with their current lifestyle and preferences. All right, now that we've gone through all the reasons that you might think twice about moving to Overland Park, let's get into some real talk from the locals. I did a bit of digging on niche.com, and out of the 468 total reviews, there's just one 2-star review and a mere 3 1-star reviews. And you know I had to pick out one of those 1-star reviews to share with you first so we can end it on a high note. So here we go. The first one is boring, racist, snobby, douchey, segregated, horrible drivers, ran by elitist yuppies, Karen capital of the Midwest, oversaturated with fast food, and crappy retail stores. I don't know the backstory here, but I'm sure it's an interesting one. Meanwhile, another person wrote, Overland Park is a great area that's always improving itself. It's very safe and there's always something fun to do around the corner. However, residency is expensive and a car is required to reach most places such as grocery stores and urgent care. It may not be the most diverse community, but it is very accepting. There are opportunities for people with every background. I've enjoyed every year that I've lived in Overland Park, and I've lived here for a very long time. It's a little better. And this last review says, it is a continuously growing modern city. Overland Park is a good area to raise kids with award-winning schools. Compared to other areas of Kansas, Overland Park has generally progressive ideals. Now, Overland Park is a great place to live despite what that one commenter said. Now, if you are still interested in moving to Overland Park, but you want to know what some of the neighborhoods are like, well, then you're definitely going to want to check out this video here where we did a full neighborhood tour of what it's like to live in Overland Park.